We're going to be playing on Elven Isles today. Shoutouts to having the 60 random map. So, you know, the spectator chat here to correct me on this, but I feel like Elven Isles kind of pushes against that minion play that so many people are putting in their books, specifically because of all of this area where people can teleport to stay away from that Dark Knight. It does mean that indirect damage spells are looking pretty good on this map. Aerial spells are fine, auras are good, Sanctuary as a result is great. We see MKS is able to get up, and with 15 seconds on the clock, will absolutely be able to navigate over to land an opening Arcane Flash. I'm going to be zooming in for this shot. Gotta get a look at his good side. Decides instead to land a Frost Shards to the tune of 70 damage. Now, I completely disagree with this play, as we're going to get a look at this shot. Fleich has come out. Tot moving away, coming back. Has located themselves properly, and there goes MKS. So coming back to the map, this is where the match really starts. Is where does MKS teleport to? See an Arcane Gate all the way down to Who Caresville. Tot probably perfectly okay with that. You know, it's going to be slow play, but when you see Tot open up with a start, I just don't know what MKS has in the book here. I mean, Tot can get over there with Pebbles. I feel like the teleport came too early, and that's the result of just what I'll call a misplay in not launching Tot off the map to start this game out. So Tot comfortably at 180 plus 50 health, drops a Blood Bank. Blood Bank will potentially be very useful for catching, well, just for gaining health. It doesn't have to be for anything other than that, anything other than its intended purpose. So what does MKS do now that they found themselves in this spot? I mean, they have another turn to Protection Shield to not do anything. We see a Blood Mist come out, dealing 10 damage, and healing back 5? Not even healing back from the looks of it, because it was dealt to a shield, I suppose. Tot's going to be starting with minion play, so Gargoyle and our blood bank out. It looks like Tot's going to be very, very content to see just how high his minion count can go before finally engaging MKS. You know, we don't know what level 3 spells MKS is packing, but it better be something significant if Tot intends to, or if MKS intends to win this. So, Gargoyle perfectly content to presumably roost up and just chill out there. Gargoyle maneuvers down to the bottom of the map. You know, open question as to whether or not MKS has Maelstrom in the book. We see a Swarm has been summoned to continue healing Tot, which that is one way of healing. Shouts to Uzman entering the chat here. Normally I would be a little more focused on the game, but I'm still not convinced MKS has anything in their book that deals damage. I mean, I'm sure they have 14 spells, but I feel like this was a stall setup from the start, and we have many turns to go. Gargoyle has morphed out, so that's going to be roosting and chilling and spending the day lounging in the sun. The Swarm has also been posted up. We're going to have a very quick book check from... Oh. Okay, Call of the Void in Tot's book. I guess I should have seen that coming given the Gargoyle and the Blood Bank both used. So Call of the Void really puts MKS in an awkward situation. You know, Arcane Gate is going to be available next turn when he loses his tower. But he's not gating anywhere in here. And, you know, when he goes over here, well, I don't think that this is going to be a great position, to be honest. You know, I feel like Tot can yeet the minion up into, yep, hitting that gargoyle perfectly fine. You know, I just don't know what MKS's play is here. You know, 277 health. Admittedly, he does have a health lead. It's just hard to root for someone who doesn't appear to have a strategy to deal damage to the other player. You know, it's a pretty simple concept. You win by bringing the other person's health to 0, and MKS has not provided evidence that they have the ability to do that. See them cast a swarm in their tiny little hidey hole. Now, I believe Blood Mist is the precursor to Gargoyle. I don't know the Blood Book well enough to know that for a fact, but yeah, if you're Tot, you're probably Blood Misting that, and so Tot is. So it's going to be a quick book check to see if MKS has Sanctuary. Otherwise, this is free damage until the... I stand corrected. MKS has 2 towers. We have Clock Tower and Ice Tower. We see a Gargoyle getting to an extremely high amount of health, and now being, you know, I guess unroosted soon. 142 health is very, very significant. And Blood Bank comes out. Coming back to MKS, who is still in a Blood Mist. Has a swarm that is doing something, I think. Casts a Blood Mist of his own, dealing minimal damage. That swarm is still alive. The Gargoyle has morphed out and is creating a ladder for this Blood Bank to come through. Blood Bank now chilling in the Blood Mist and taking Aurora to the Dome, such that our friend Todd is now up to 247 health. Only to go higher very shortly. Gargoyle has pinned itself in the wall. I don't think it can cast Morph twice in the same turn. And Tot is... I mean, I don't know what Tot does either, other than Q spam and wait for Call of the Wood to come back up, but you know, you have to imagine that this is heavy advantage Tot as we come into the part of the game where comets arise. Blood Bank coming out for MKS, who's going to be an even higher health number soon. I can't tell which player is smacking their head against their keyboard right now as we seemingly wait for the comets to decide the game. We have about 50 turns remaining, and 50 turns is plenty of time for comets to destroy most of this top layer of map, by which point you will very quickly see our friend the Gargoyles come out and bring home whatever Call of the Void doesn't win. Tot deciding he didn't need that swarm today. But does want that swarm. Comets continuing to deal some damage to the map. Looks like we have Siggy versus Baboo also happening right now. Shoutouts to Siggy and Baboo. I mean, I really do hate to talk smack on the players in the game, but I feel like Todd is going to grab the win here after a very long and excruciating wait for Arcanists to destroy the map. Just by virtue of having minions with health. That's it. And we see Gargoyle number 1 is up to 167 health now. Gargoyle number 2 happily at 52 health. Tot doing the necessary work to slowly but surely clear out all possible places for MKS to go to once another Call of the Void is dropped. I think this is a really good strategy to make this game end quicker. You know, Call of the Void is going to apply plenty of pressure to our friend MKS. Is that? Yep. Y'all seeing that? That gargoyle is floating. What? Is that a feature of gargoyles, or is that full ice somehow? There's no full ice in the game, so I guess gargoyles can't sink if they're morphed. I didn't know this existed. That's kind of neat. So Tot continuing to chug away at all of the terrain that MKS could go to. Tot at 277 plus 90, probably extremely fine with letting this game continue to drag out. He will be at 277 plus 140 very shortly, and we'll have a blood bank to cast soon to get even higher. Arcane Flash coming out from MKS. I think that was a spell to cast that turn. I don't think there was any particular value in it. We see that our gargoyles are continuing to gain health here, which is good. Love to see that. Gargoyles have navigated around that blood mist, which will be going down next turn, I believe. Tot placing himself in the corner here, going to throw one last Arcane Flash to clear out any remaining terrain that MKS can go to, with the exception of this pocket and that pocket, before presumably the Call of the Void comes out and pressures our friend MKS into actually going somewhere. So, well executed strategy from King Tot himself, the legend he is. Call of the Void is cast, taking our friend MKS out of the tower, who is up to 359 health, mind you. Will almost certainly... he actually has a health lead right now. That's insanity. He's not going to retain that health lead for long, given the fact that he's about to be lathered with comets and, you know, another blood mist and whoever else, you know, has stuff to throw. But yeah, it's... yeah, so we have the blood mist. What tower is it going to be today? Is it going to be Clock or Ice Tower? My money's on Clock Tower. Maybe... yeah, okay, it's Ice Tower. I was wrong. I got the 50-50 wrong. You know, the real question... what does Tot do now? Slowly digs into position. We see the comets are going to continue coming in, may actually be applying pressure to MKS now, who's at 418 health, for those of you keeping score at home. We have an arcane monster on the field effectively. And we have a Dark Knight, so... unfortunately, the problem with Dark Knights is that they don't tend to swim well. And so in a world where the DK... this is just premature. This is not... I mean, maybe it's an act of desperation, but I just don't envision a world where this DK gets any work done. Gargoyle decides that it's his time to shine. Bloodlust is going to deal 70 to that Dark Knight if he wants to use it here. Both gargoyles are making their way downtown, walking fast. We will see if if a gargoyle takes a swipe at the DK and gives up its life for ire, or if Tot will just continue lathering on damage from afar and not worrying about the DK. Will it be Bloodlust? It will. Dark Knight is now down to 15 health. So, for those of you not keeping score at home, the Dark Knight cannot drain the Gargoyle for additional health. Hopefully MKS knows this. Down at 15 health, the Dark Knight is going to be hit by that swarm and become undead, and now MKS has screwed himself. So, very, very unfortunate for this Dark Knight, who will now be an undead... Oh, don't run into Blood Mist! Oh, it was already used. Never mind. So, undead DK now on the field. This game is going to end very quickly. There is very, very little doubt in my mind about this game ending within 5 rounds. DK extremely content to just chill the hell out. We have Gargoyles ready to cast Bloodlust on those who shall receive Bloodlust. Possibly a slight misplay here. I think this is going to be a Blast from the Past check for MKS, who, if he has it in the book, can Frost Shard the DK. So, very, very quick book check for our friend MKS, who decides that Ice Shield and Clock Tower is actually going to be the way. I have to imagine this is a mistake. Summoning Swarm is also definitely a mistake. So, in the lack of a Blood Mist or whatever else, we're going to have that Swarm come in. It missed, so the Swarm's job is just going to be the ladder then. Would have preferred to see an extra 15 health from the Dark Knight, but whatever. The ladder is out, and we're about to have probably 150 HP to the dome of our friendly neighborhood spellcaster. Looks like Tot's trying to keep the swarm safe. Possible indication that the Dark Knight is not coming in for a chop chop today, and instead is going to be healing up to about 35 health. Yeah, Dark Knight is repositioning. We do see the chop chop. That chop chop dealing about 120 damage. Now, I assume the reason he went for this, knowing that the Dark Knight is now dead, is that a gargoyle will... I don't know about that one. Call the Void's up in 1 turn. I believe Call the Void's up in 1 turn, and this area is still enclosed. Dark Knight going to be maneuvering out, receiving the lovely health benefit of the Swarm in just a moment. There it is. We see that we have a gargoyle. 1 gargoyle up to 250 HP now. Shoutouts to that gargoyle. Tot, presumably, if he knows what he's doing, casts Protection Shield here because he just needs to wait 1 more turn before Call of the Void comes back up. Opts instead for a Blood Mist, another acceptable option. You know, that's just health, so we take those. You know, now at 294 plus 65. Note that we are 22 rounds into the game, and both players are above 250 health. Now, that's very quickly about to change, as MKS is about to be subjected to a very, very powerful spell that he has no escape from. So Tot almost certainly getting 3 free rounds of Call of the Void on MKS. Alright, Call of the Void has been cast. We see the tower's down to 295 health. This will detower next turn. Now, I believe both damages are applied at the same time, so we won't have the bleed effect quite yet. But as that Call of the Void ramps up in damage, MKS is going to be in a progressively worse and worse position. Tot probably not minding the Blood Mist cast there, given that he's just going to go heal the DK even more, and then get the DK out of there via some laddering. Alright, DK is up to 40 health. Swarm should be used for the ladder, but I guess he doesn't think it's necessary. Maybe the DK just goes down into the other hidey hole. Swarm positions away from all of that madness. Gargoyle morphs out. Presents as a ladder for the DK to come through. DK happily obliges, gets out of there. 30 seconds still on the clock. You know, now it's option to Tot to cast whatever the heck he wants. Gonna get the gargoyles out of here. Looks like one is going to be going over to the left side. The other one's probably just going to be going down. No, going up and to the right. I don't like the positioning there, unless he truly has nothing to do with it. I'd rather use him moving a little further to the right, but I suppose if someone's got to tank the Blood Mist, it can be him. And then Tot casting Forest Seed to prevent tower shenanigans. Very important spell, given that Ice Tower will be up soon, and MKS not having really much of anything to do, will just be taking these to the dome. Now, you may ask yourself, well, can't he drain the Forest Seed, making this completely irrelevant? But the Forest Seed will die almost immediately to the Call of the Void. It's actually already dead looking at the screen. So bleed has now been, provided. 220 health remaining on MKS. This game is certainly over soon. We see the Dark Knight now up to a healthy 50 HP. And between Tot's ability to flash and the Dark Knight's ability to cleave, there's not really any safe spots left on the map for MKS. We will see Ice Tower will be coming up shortly. That tower will be cleared out immediately by the Call of the Void. So it's really just there to stall for a turn. And for a turn, it shall stall. DK happy to receive another 15 health. And so, I believe Clock Tower will be up not next turn, but the turn after, which means that MKS will be taking some damage shortly. Looks like Tot is not going to be taking damage from some Call of the Void. Maybe MKS has Quake and will force Tot to self-damage, but I think MKS just has to spend a turn eating paste, effectively. We see some maneuvering within his cozy home, where he will be taking, I think, like 100 damage next turn, and having bleed procced on him. It's gonna be a lot. Tot happily up at 299 plus 115, and without a Sanctuary to cleanse that, he's probably not losing his flight for the rest of the game. MKS wondering where the Q button is on his keyboard, decides instead to cast Swarms that will immediately die, preventing him from casting the next turn. Does take approximately 113 damage or 123 damage, apologies, for his troubles. DK actually ready to go to end this game now. Does Tot realize that he has a straightforward path to close this one out? Does the Swarm come down to assist in the ladder? Yes, Swarm is coming down. We will see a long jump, a second long jump, a third long jump, a repositioning of the Swarm to create the necessary bridge. Still 30 seconds left on the clock. Tot deciding that he's going to be the rest of the bridge here. Dark Knight, another long jump, a jump into position, a happy jump up, perhaps a short ladder to get just a wee bit higher. Nope, this is going to have to do. Here comes the cleave. Will he get 101? Nope. Down to 30 health, our friend MKS goes. Going back up to 32 because someone was standing in a blood mist this morning, meaning that he's also not bleeding today. Unfortunately, 70 health on that Dark Knight, and inside of him, he's not towering today either. Well, MKS gets out of the dumpster, meaning that we will have another tower today. Now, I think the Dark Knight dies, and I think the tower dies. Oh, miscounted Call the Void. So Call the Void's done. We will see Dark Knight almost certainly go for another cleave here to get the necessary D-tower. Swarm coming in just to add a little more oomph to that Dark Knight, just in case he needs it, I suppose. But alright, so 32 HP still remaining on MKS. I believe Arcane Gate is up now, so we will see if see where he goes to Gate 2. Fun fact, nowhere on the map is safe to Gate 2. Wants to challenge the Dark Knight. He does have Frost Shard to kill it, however, I think even Tot has something in the book that will deal some damage, probably Bloodlust, to end this game. Maybe the Frost Shard to the DK just to decides to take the honorable way out and end with the Mega Boulder.